When did we get to be this mamby-pamby group of people that have decided to shut everybody down? Roseanne Barr. I never asked for Roseanne Barr to be shut down or to be exterminated. Never. I never would. In fact, even though I think I know who she is and I find her political view to be literally horrifying, when she was kicked off of the Roseanne show, I supported her. Now, how hard is that for me? Because I've been railing about Roseanne Barr since Occupy Wall Street, because she was at Occupy Wall Street. I want you to listen to this interview she did with Russia Today and what she said about Occupy Wall Street and the bankers in New York City.
You were tweeting from the Occupy Wall Street. You're down in the trenches.
It's a
and
tweet,
one of the
remember.
tweets that you posted, you said, Roseanne Barr, if corporations are people, then Goldman Sachs needs to be executed for premeditated mass murder, terrorism, mayhem, and grand larceny.
Hi, Jack.
Yes, absolutely.
Would this be your platform then, running for president?
It's part of it. Is the part of my platform is, of course, that the guilty must be punished, and that we can no longer, let our children see their guilty leaders getting away with murder, because it teaches children that they don't have to have any morals, and as long as they have guns and are bullies, that they'll win. And I don't think that's a good message. I do say that I am for the return of the guillotine, and that is for the worst of the guilty.
You're singing to the choir on this show. We've been advocating the guillotine for years now.
Russia Today.
Oh, well, fantastic. We think alike in many ways. I first would allow the guilty bankers to pay, the ability to pay back anything over $100 million personal wealth, because I believe in a maximum wage of $100 million. And if they're unable to live on that amount, then they should go to the re-education camps, and if that doesn't help, then be beheaded.
Okay, so we have seen guillotines on the streets. I played this when it first came out over and over again, when she was going back on ABC. How did you fire her? You knew who she was. This has been out there. Nobody? No, your people knew exactly who she was. She's just saying things that are okay to say today. We've seen guillotines used by the Black Lives Matter people just over the summer. They were building them in front of Jeff Bezos' house. She's calling for the execution of people. We're seeing that. She's calling for re-education camps. We're now seeing serious people call for re-education camps. Never once did I say we should shut her down. Never once. I said people should listen to her. You take people at their word. When they say crazy things and they have influence and power, you should take them at their word. But now if you talk about how the vote was rigged, something that Hillary Clinton talked about, something that Al Gore talked about, selected, not elected, if you even say that, you can't be on social media and they will squash you. Now, the New York Times, the New York Times is part of the panel of experts that are calling for Joe Biden and his administration to appoint a task force led by a reality czar focused on dictating and mitigating the dissemination of certain types of information. The reality czar was the Ministry of Truth. Was that taken already? In an article published yesterday, one Times author made it his goal to seek out experts who could help fix our truth-challenged information ecosystem, filled with hoaxes, lies, and collective delusions, created by such people as QAnon supporters, One American News watchers, and YouTube conspiracy theorists. One of the solutions proposed by the professors and employees at anti-extremist activist organizations is for the Biden administration to take action following the deadly January 6 mob riot at the Capitol and establish a truth commission to investigate the siege. Other experts, the author wrote, took it further, proposing that Biden and his team appoint a reality czar, a term that some pointed out is very similar to 1984's Ministry of Truth, to oversee a committee on the quest for general truth instead of just focusing on the riot. Several experts I spoke with recommended that the Biden administration put together a cross-agency task force to tackle disinformation and domestic extremism, which would be led by something like a reality czar, the New York Times author wrote. Sounds a little dystopian, I'll grant, but let's hear them out. Okay. So we're willing to hear this out. Something that it would give the power to the government to decide what's true and what's not. This ultimate truth official, who would work for the government, the author suggested, would be responsible for dictating and mitigating the spread of information in the United States and could engage with the ever-truth-wielding Silicon Valley giants such as Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Apple, and Google to implement new policies and evaluate which information should be disseminated. This task force could also meet regularly with tech platforms and push for structural changes that could help those companies tackle their own extremism and misinformation problems. Wow. Whew. Involving these internet oligarchs in government-led crackdown on disinformation, the author excitedly suggests could become the tip of the spear for the federal government's response to the reality crisis. Collusion with big tech over the establishment of a government-controlled Veritas, however, could not bring back the millions already radicalized who have been radicalized by themselves. The federal intervention that spurs people to community-based activities that could keep them engaged and occupied, and the creation of ads targeting high-risk potential violent extremists with empathetic messages about mental health and mindfulness. You see what's happening? They are now saying, we can tell you what reality is. We can tell you what's true and what is not. What is accepted. This is 1984. And then, just like George Orwell, for those who can't be changed, we'll give them all kinds of ads. We'll give them propaganda. We'll try to brainwash them. But in the end, mental health probably is going to come in question for those who just won't accept the truth. If you think this is crazy and can never happen, you are a danger to yourself and to your family. You are a danger to the freedom of your children. You must take people seriously. You notice how they took Donald Trump seriously? We said, don't take him literally, just take him seriously. We must take these people literally and seriously because they are serious. And while they are telling us we can't say certain things, they are saying things directly out of 1984 by George Orwell. And that's the new reality. That's the new norm. America is on a cliff. The world is on a cliff. Do not go over the cliff with the rest of humanity. You must have courage to stand in your own community.